welcome to, I believe, movie number 7. Let me make sure. Yep, movie number 7. Let's get right into the eyes, but I want you to see that I went into the eye folder and I colored all the layers I've been working on blue because I renamed in the same folder the eye detail, which I'm starting on now. So the eye detail layers are going to be colored white, not named white, colored white. So what I want to do is and sometimes you have to move the clicky copy to somewhere where in the layer palette it's convenient to click on. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to move the clicky copy above everything, but where I can get to everything with one easy click. Okay, so I'm clicking on the clicky copy. Now I want to zoom in and I want a copy of those eyes really close to me. So I'm going to turn on the eyes here, and I really now only need the eyes. Okay, so there's several things I can do here. I'll use a copy of that layer. Something I should have told you too is I have saved as 3 times on this file, and I have gotten rid of, I have saved as 3 times on this file, and I have changed the name. So this is my letter C file, and I've already done an A and a B file. So or you can name it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or put today's date in it, or whatever you want. Now I'm going to take a copy of that right here, which is I really didn't need to duplicate that. That was silly. So I'm not thinking. So I'm going to turn this one on, and I'm going to click Command J, and now I do have my copy. Now why I have that is because I only want that part of the eyes. Now I want to hit the V key, and I want to put them nice and close. Okay, so I can see what it is I want to see and have everything in front of me. Okay, and that's the way I want to do it. So those look like they're a little darker, don't they? But that's okay. I don't think they are. Are they? I don't think so. Let me move them. Nope, they are not darker, so that's good. So let me move them back up here. Okay, so let's turn off the clicky copy so we can see what it is we're looking at. Now let me zoom into this eye right here, and we're going to start to lay in the red and the white for the eye pupil, and then we're going to finish off the tear duct. So I haven't even thought about the eyelashes yet. Now I can use color range to grab the eyelashes, which I will do, but I will paint them. Okay, rather than coming in, and some of the eyelashes I'm actually going to do with a Wacom tablet, but I'll come back later when I'm doing the hair, and when I'm doing the eyebrows I will do the eyelashes. Okay, but I'll put the foundation for the eyelashes in with color range, then I will finesse lighter eyelashes down in here with the Wacom tablet and the ability to lightly press and to feather and taper a line. So that's what I want to tell you. But anyway, let's get to where we're getting to. So let me go back down to the eye detail number 1 layer, and let's call this, I'm going to double click it, and I'm going to call this the eye white underscore white. So let's now find where that is. So I turn on the clicky copy, I look in here, and I see that that is the inner white. So I'm actually going to go to the inner white layer, and even though it includes the tear duct, I'm going to go find my tear ducts right there, the tear areas, and I'm actually going to I was going to say I could subtract them out so that I would get and only put in where that goes there. Okay, meaning let me Z back. And let me turn this off. See how I really don't need white to go all the way over to there? Okay, so I could really subtract that out of there. I could do it if I hit the L key and the minus key, which is the Option or Alt key, and I could just actually come in like this, and I could just subtract that away from there, which I probably should do. So I'm going to come into this side, hold it, and look at how I'm going to come straight down this, and I'm going to come around here and subtract that. Now let me go to select, save selection as whites without, let me go underscore no tear areas. So no tear areas. So now I have that saved. Let me hit Command S to save the file. And now let's grab this color. So I'm hitting the B key and I'm grabbing this color and I'm going to flood the color in both sides. Okay, so the fastest way that I know of to flood color is just go Option Delete. Now I want to get a whiter value in there, so now here is where I use my painting skill, and I want some of the veins of the eyes to go in there. So we're going to use a bunch of little techniques here. So let me bring this back and make it a little white, and I should put it on blue, not green. So I should come up into the blue area and I should make it more of a, even though it's neutral right now, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to click this down into the swatch palette and just hit the return key and save the file. So I don't want to influence this too much because what you think is the white of the eye is actually not very white. So although it'll look white compared to everything else. So what I want to do is just increase the white of the eye next to the pupil where it's going, and do it on both sides. Let me grab this color and then make it a little bit whiter. See, it wants to go to that green side, which is okay. Maybe I'll just leave it there. And then this isn't going to go to the green side. This is going to go more towards the blue side. So I was correct in the blue side. So let's go over here and let's come over to here. Not because the pupil is blue, just because. But let's now see that I've actually got this brighter here. And let's go over here and let me hit Command H to hide the selection. And let's go over here and make it slightly brighter here. Now I'm going to go to another layer above it and call it number 2. So let's go underscore white 2. And I'll tell you why I'm doing a white number 2, because I want to get grayer in the corner. So I'm going to get this reddish color going on. And I am going to Gaussian blur this by 1 when I'm over. I'll Gaussian blur each of these layers by 1 or 2. So let me hit Command H. Sorry, I already had it on. And let's make the brush go smaller. And now look at how I'm going to come right inside of here and darken this underneath. And I'm going to start getting a dark that's wrapping around here. I want that dark to come over in the corner. So let me make this bigger. And now look at how I'm toning back the eye white. Okay, and let's come underneath it. And let's now tone this back. Now let me click back on top and get that light color to come back in and just tone this back and just give me a nice feel to it on that side. Now let's come over here and let's tone this back right in the corner. I'll turn on the clicky copy so I can paint where that's supposed to be. So let me just bring this down just like that. Let's now bring it right down like this and right across this bottom. Now let's make it bigger. Let's not grab the vein color, but let's grab the around the vein color, and let's make it bigger and come in like that. Now let's see what we've got, how I'm actually darkening this or adding the tone that is really in the eye white. Just because it says white, I'm going to make my point again. Just because it says white doesn't mean it is white. Don't assume when you think of it. I'm going to say a phrase that I tell my students all the time. Paint what you see, not what you think you see. So what you see is the true tone. What you think you see is what your mind tells you should be there, which in painting terms, ignore what your mind is telling you. Now, that's a really good value. Let me turn off my eyes. Let me put this down here. Let me turn off my eyes so we can see when I turn on the clicky copy that I pretty much have the right value there. Okay, and when the tear ducts actually get in there is when it will really start looking good. Now let's go to the next one before I go altering anything and start to put in the eye lines. So eye detail white number 2. Oh, please tell me I was working on that one. Tell me I wasn't working on a different layer. Okay, good. Let's go here to the eye detail 3, and I'm going to call this the red lines of the lid. Okay, so let's go do the red lines of the lid. Now, let's get close. Let's grab this color. So in the B key, small brush, let's go grab this color right here, and let's make it slightly darker so I can use the layer mask to melt it in, if that makes sense. Now let's go find my eyelid. So look, I'm going to command click the lower one, which I drew, and then I duplicated it and I moved it up for the higher one. So I'm going to move in and you can see. All I did was move it up. Now all I have to do is subtract that and I get the line. Okay, now I should Gaussian blur it by 1 or feather it by 1. So I'll go Shift F6, 1 pixel on the feather, hit Command H. Now I'm going to turn it off, which means to turn that off, and I'm going to turn on the little eyes that I have here so I can see how far to go. Now I'm going to zoom in and you can tell me when to stop pretty much. So now if I come in here, look at how I'm going to put that little nice little dark line underneath, and I'm going to have to alter its color because it's not red enough. So let's go in now and let's go more towards the red, and let's now let me just alter it with red just a little bit, just on top, so that red really comes off nicely. Let's put it right through here. Now I have it just about too perfect, which is okay because I'll make the imperfection happen in a little bit. Now let's do it on this side. Let's come on this side and let's put it all the way through here. Look at how I've got that drawn all the way around like that. What happened to that selection? That shouldn't be there. That little thing right there, that shouldn't be there. So I have to take the lasso and the Option or Alt key and I have to subtract this from the selection. I must have had something on there, which is okay. And I should save that selection because I'm probably going to need it again, but it's okay. So now let me come through here and look at how I can add that right in here. And then I am going to come in a few minutes and I'm going to add the imperfections that is really in that eye. Okay, so I just want the line to be there, and then like I said, I can add the imperfection in a few minutes. So I'm going to go back to the, well, I probably should do it now. I'm going to double click this one and hit Command C. No, I'm going to go to here and I'm going to go, let me grab this red lines lid thing and let me go over here to layer number 4 and hit Command V and put a number 2 in there and save the file, because I want to go back to the eye outside of the eye right there. So let me make a selection of that, hit Command H. I am going to Gaussian blur that by a little bit more. I don't want to get too close, but now let's go add a little bit of imperfection color. So if I move this to here, I'm actually going to just look at how I'm adding the imperfection and the blending out of that line. So see how I'm actually coming in and I'm actually adding a little bit more of free-handed approach to it. Not talking about the little shine spots. I'm just going to break it up with some things. So let's go in here and I'm just going to come close and I'm going to break that line up. And I'm going to just add some of this imperfection as I can see it, because I don't want it perfect. It's not perfect. So let's come over here and let's see where it needs to add a little bit of imperfection, and I'm going to add something else. Now, on the same layer, I would like you to see something. Do you see how below that red line is a little white-ish line? Well, I'm going to use that same method, and watch what I do. It's kind of neat, because you can let one selection work for another selection. Let me see if I saved it already. No. So I'm going to go to the inner lid, make a selection of the outer lid. So let me go over here and subtract the inner lid. Now I have to remove that little shape again. And you know what? Let me fix that. Let me deselect. Let me go up to here, up to here, and let me see what's on that little shape there, because that's what's bothering me. So that little line right there shouldn't be there. So let me delete it, and now I'll save the file. Now I don't have to worry about taking it away from the path. So here's what I'm going to do again. Command click the outer lid. Yes, let me zoom in so I see what I'm talking about. Subtract, so hold Command and Option or Control and Alt and subtract the inner lid. Now watch what I do. I'm going to zoom into that so we can see the placement and turn on the clicky 2. I want to toggle it down with my arrow keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, right about there, right about there. Now I want to contract it. So I want to go to Select, Modify, and make it thinner. So I'm going to contract it by 1 pixel. Now I've made it thinner. Now I'm going to go to Select and save selection as red line thinner and moved. I know I'm writing a book there, but that's okay. Let me hit Command H to hide it. Let's go grab a lighter value and then make it even lighter. So let me go grab that pixel right there, and let's make it even brighter and lighter, but more towards the pink. So let's go up to here, because I can always delete it. Okay, meaning, I'm sorry, I can always layer mask it back. So let's turn this off. Let's make my brush bigger, but I'm not going to flood it in there. So let me hit the B key and the up bracket. And then I want to get close and show you what I'm talking about. I want to come in and add an imperfection line, but a brighter line for the eyelid to have shine on it. So I'm going to get this both on the screen so we can see them both. Okay, so see what I'm talking about right there? I want to come in with that highlight. So I used the red line, toggled it down, saved it as a selection, and now I have it and I didn't have to draw it. So wasn't that cool? So now you see that little bit of a line that comes underneath, and it's a brighter line. So now let's come in here. Let's actually come and let's highlight that line. Let's come over to this side. It really shows up over here a lot more. I'm not talking about this one. I'm talking about the one that's underneath there. So now look at how I can paint it in here, there. Let's now come like this. Let's now just add a couple lines in here. It shows up just a little bit up in here, and now I have that line showing up kind of nicely, and it really makes that lid, that eyelid, look really pretty. Command S to save the file. I can certainly work on that more later. Now, I have to do a lot of resolving in the eye pupils. So I either put a fix layer in there, or I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to make sure I'm on the right layer, which was this layer right here, which was the eye detail number 2 layer. Yes. So I want to click back to the image part of that layer, and then I want to click to the to that one, which is the inside one. So now I can kind of freehand and get rid of this hard line with paint. So I'm going to go right on top of this with this color, okay, with about this size brush, and I'm just going to paint. Now I know that what I'm doing is actually kind of diffusing that line. So I'm going to click over here. In fact, let me see where that line is. Okay, I am correct. So now let's get closer with it. And let's now come right through here and just paint it out so it hides itself right there. Let me see what that looks like. Okay, now I have to start getting darker with it. So let's grab this tone. And now let's come right over here. Let me hit Command H so I don't have to see the selection. And now let's come up here with it. Don't want any hard line there. Eyes don't have hard lines. So now let's come in here like this. Let's come around like this. Let's see how that looks. Okay, we need a little bit of a bigger brush, and I need to just sweep it around here just a little bit more. Okay, now let's go do the other side. That looks better, looks more natural. Doesn't have the shine spots or the light pinkies yet, which is okay because I'm not to that point yet. So let's zoom in. This one should get a little bit more red tone. So let's take this red tone and let's come right across here with it. Now let me grab that tone right here, and let me make sure I'm not going too far into the white area. So let me grab that light tone and come straight down here with it with a small brush. Okay, and let's look at what we've got. Okay, that's good. I'm right on the correct line for it. All right, and now I really should increase that little line. See how down here, see how that line increases all the way around? Okay, I gotta go to a new layer. So we'll go to Eye Detail 5, and let's now start. I'm gonna move the clicky copy up higher, and let's save the file. Now let's start to do the tear ducts and that darker red line. So let me come down here where I think I have the red line, but that's the moved red line. Okay, I need to come up and do the red line again. So let's go 1, and subtract 2. And now I'll zoom in and you can see there's the red line right there. And it's right where it should be. So let me hit Command H. Let's go grab the color. Boom. And now let's turn this off. Let's keep our eye on, let me move it so we can see both. Let's look at this while we're painting this. So let me hit the B key. I need to click on Eye Detail 5 layer, and now I can put in that line. Now look at how pretty that's starting to look. And let's come up around that corner, and now I can come in like this, and there's quite a bit of painting that I have to do inside of there to get started on the tear ducts. So I'm going to Command click the tear duct area. I'm going to expand that by 1 pixel. By 1 pixel. So it just got a little bit bigger. Now I'm going to feather it by 1 pixel. And now I'm going to save it, so I don't have to do that again. So this is going to be the white eye, white, larger. If I spelled that right. No, I did not. Larger. Whoops. Okay, I messed up. Eye, white, larger. Oh, for goodness sakes, Brian. Okay, Command S to save the file. Now, let's hit Command H, and let's paint with this on, and let's get messy. Okay, so I want to start getting and drawing with my Wacom tablet. So I take this, and now I'm switching to my Wacom tablet, and I'm going to start the drawing process, where I can actually start to draw this all out. Let's get a little darker with it. And let's see how we're doing. Okay, I'm starting to go. Now I'm going to get larger with my brush, hit this color in here, and then I'll come back with other colors, like the same dark that I did. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, darker. And let's see how I'm doing. I probably should put this up at 8% because it's taking too long on screen. So let's keep on going. Don't get all impatient on me. Let's come down like this. Let's look how we're doing. Okay, let's come around like that. Okay, let's get a little bit more value going on right there. Okay, I am going to go as soon as I'm ready. Okay, that's starting to look good. I don't want to do the darks yet. So let's go in here. Let's sweep this down like this. Let's go to 1 layer higher. Now let's get the darks coming in. There's no reason why you can't just freehand this stuff, just like I'm doing. And let go of your Wacom tablet pen, let go of your little button, so that it actually, if you had to go back in history, like, don't keep your finger held down on this. Lift your tablet off, lift your pen off the tablet as you're working. Okay, I like what I'm seeing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's going to go into it that close. Let me use my Option key that's right on the tablet itself. Now let's go up to the 1 higher, and let's go start to put back in some of these tones, and let me make sure they're a little bit more pink than that. And then I can kill that on the next using a layer mask. So look at how I'm going to start to lay in this tone. this tone right here. Okay, let's look and see how we're doing. Now, let me diffuse that tone, which is a little too bright, with a deeper red. So let's go into here with a little bit of a deeper red, and now let's just diffuse the tone a little bit. Now I should be looking at this other tear duct down here. Okay, that's good. And now I can come in here like this, diffuse it just a little bit more. And then let's hit the other side of that eye right here with this tone right there. And then wrap it into the white of the eye. Now let's bring the white of the eye back into it. Now I'm going to come in with this dark tone right there, a little bit more on the top, and kill what I've got. Let me hit Command H to see where I'm working, and I should diffuse everything by 2 pixels, but I want to put in like a really pretty highlight detail. So let's go close to here. Let me turn on the highlight detail, and let's go grab this light value. Let's go up with light, but be careful that I don't go too much. And now I want to put in a few little things here. So go boom, 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 and then a nice one right there. And let's go back so I can actually now increase it. So I'm going here. I'm going to make my brush a little bigger. Okay, and now let's go here. And now I've got that starting to work real nice. And there is my tear duct, which I've started. I'm not finished with it yet, but because there's got to be the veins in there, and there's got to be all sorts of other things that happen. But you can see how I'm actually starting the real process of making it pretty. I'm going to go to another layer, and I'm not going to name it yet because I'm still going to get this pink inside the eye. So let's go to back to my mouse just a second. Okay, now I'm going to just come in like this because I want to do some feathering painting. Okay, and let me make sure that's a good red. Okay, which is going to be somewhere about there, I believe. I just want to put in this red, which is right over here. Bigger brush. And now I want to do the same thing on the other side, but I want to first take this darkness, make it a little darker even. And I want to, without the eyelashes there, please don't judge it. But now look at how I'm going to darken the eye right there. And I'm going to come into here and darken this part of the eye right there. Bring this down a little bit farther like this. And now let's get a little bit going on around here. And let's darken this a little bit. And now, before I put in the nice highlights, we're going to go do some things. So, which meaning we're going to fix and do the pupil and do everything else. So, I've got this working really well, and that eyelid looks really good. And now I'm going to go on this side and do the same thing. So I'm going to see how many layers. I'll just work on the same layer. So that layer was one of my darks. I'm going to color it yellow, like I did the other ones. And this one, and this one, and this one are the, so I'm going to start on the eye detail 5 layer when I move over here. So let's turn this on. And now this one's already quite dark, so I can go right into my darks. So let me go down in size, grab the dark, switch back over to my Wacom tablet. Okay, and now let me just feather this. And I'm working pretty good on it. Let's see how I'm doing. Looking good. Let me make my much bigger. Okay, now I'm going to go up to the next layer, and I'm going to now start to get the light values back in. So let's go to the light value. I'll make it even a little bit brighter so it's easier to paint. Let me zoom in. And I'm doing a pretty good job. I've switched back to the mouse for some things right now. So, okay, that looks good. That side was a little bit easier to do for some reason. And now let's put in, because you know why? I had already done the darkness around the edge. So let's go up to the eye number 7 layer. Let me see where the highlights are on that one. The highlights are on that layer and that layer. So I'm good. I'll just keep on that layer. And now let's get close. And let me grab this highlight color. And let's now just paint. And I'm doing a pretty good job of it. Let's go like this, make that smaller. And let's see what I'm doing here. I want to get some pink going on again, so I'm going to go back to this and come around here. And then on the layer below it, I want to put some pinks around it. Whoop, that was too much. So I just want to influence a little bit of pink in there. Okay, that's good. So I'm doing it on the layer below it. I'm not doing it on that layer. And I like that little bit of red that's actually in here. I'm going to put that red in some cases back in the other side, because that red is really what a tear duct wants to be. So I've got that tear duct working pretty well there, and that one's working, and I should come over here and actually put in a little bit more of the pink over here. So let's just come in a little bit more in there, and let me see what that actually looks like. I need to go down one more. Okay, now I can see them both. I should just move it higher. I'm lazy. So now let's come in here. Let's come in here. Okay, I like that pink. I think that pink should actually... No, I'm doing good. I really don't want it anywhere else. Other than on the outside of the eye. It needs to come a little bit more out here. So I'm going to deselect it. I'm going to go down with my brush, and I'm going to come with that color, and I'm going to influence the outside of this with a little bit more of that color. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And then I think I'm going to stop this movie and keep it going. So there's no distinct line right there. So what I want to do is to take away my line that I had here, okay? So I'm going to see how far I need to take away the line. So if I go to eye detail number 32, this could be destructive. So I'm going to do it on a layer where I don't care if I'm destructive, because I can just delete it. All right, so let me see how far down I'm going to go with it. So I'm going to take that value that's right here, and I'm going to eradicate that definitive edge that I had. Now let me go back to here and see that I need to bring down a little bit more of that dark. I mean, there's an edge there, but there's not an edge there. Do you know what I mean? So I need to make it softer and prettier. And then this just needs to come up here like this. So now I can actually kind of diffuse that by just bringing in a little bit more of that value. Let me grab this pink and come back with it this way. There. Now, there. That's really pretty. Now, let me grab that lighter pink and just come on top of it with that color. And now, that feels pretty. Let me see if I ruined something. No, I didn't ruin something. I just need to get close, grab that color, and just continue that color in a random way and fix it. There, I fixed that. Let's come through here. Let's come down around this way just a little bit. Okay, there we go. I mean, I'm so close, it's not funny. So that tear duct looks good. That tear duct looks good. This red should actually move into here a little bit more. So that red, maybe I can make my brush bigger. That red needs to move into here just a little bit more. So let me kind of grab that value that's right there. Make this smaller. Again, I think I need to soften this line that I'm pointing to you on right there. This line right there, which is that line, needs to soften. It needs to not be so definitive. So I'm going to kind of do what I just said and make it not as definitive. Okay, that looks good. And I kind of like what I just did there. So let's come in like this and just bring that down. And now I'm getting really nice. Now, let me turn off my little eyeballs. I'm not sure how much I did, but now let's get into the color of the eye, do a little bit of the eyelashes or the base of the eyelashes, and let's do the wrinkles above the eye, which are the eyelids, okay, on the next movie when we start.